Okay, I have good news and mediocre news about China and solar power, and it all makes Donald Trump's obsession with revitalizing the coal industry even more pathetic. We've been talking about in the era of Trump, the US not really being the leader anymore in the world. The US president is no longer the leader of the free world. It's a euphemism, it's not a literal term. Realistically, though, the leader of the free world is now German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The US is not the leader, if it ever was, but it's clearly not the leader now on alternative energy and climate. Trump pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, Trump wanting to revitalize the dying coal industry. And I've been talking about China and India as the sort of rising leaders in curbing climate change. And we have now learned that China has already surpassed its solar power target for 2020. It's 2017. They are 3 years ahead of schedule. They've now passed 105 gigawatts of solar power capacity. Not only is that great news, China is also tweaking its forecasts to now target adding another 45 gigawatts of solar power just this year. That's all great. The bad part is it's only 1% of all Chinese energy because of the amount of Chinese energy demands. But it's still a huge increase, and for that we should be glad.
I remember one of the biggest conservative arguments against combating climate change was, what does it really matter if the U.S. is doing it because China's not taking the appropriate steps, and
Right.
because they have the world's largest population, and because, in part because of that reason, the world's largest polluters.
Sure.
What we do doesn't really make a difference because they're not going along with it. Now they're way ahead of the game.
They are. And even though it's only 1% of their energy, they were at 0.3% of their energy coming from solar in 2015. So they've roughly tripled that. And we also, it's important to think about this in the context of how China works, right? I mean, one of the best and worst things about China as a country is they can get anything done at the government say so, right? China can make a decision and say, hey, businesses, you need to invest in solar. And they just have to say the word, and businesses in China have to invest in solar. So we have to think about that when we see the growth that China is able to have. Western nations do have to deal with, well, we have to incentivize private corporations to do this because we have a different system than does China. But regardless, the important thing is, I wish Trump understood. Well, I wish Trump understood anything, but what I mean here is I wish he understood the issue of energy as a national security issue, as an economic issue. It's an issue about, he talks about America being great. The US is just not the place you go to if you want to observe aggressive and innovative thinking about alternative energy at the country level. Yeah, Tesla batteries are fascinating and the storage of renewable energy that they're working on, very important. But you look at Israel for solar panel technology. You look at China and India for national level replacement of fossil fuels. And it's not the United States. It's not the United States that you're now looking to.
It seems like this is a topic where there could be so much friendly competition between countries as well. Like we could say, hey, China, you got us on solar, but we'll get you on wind energy. But it seems like Donald Trump isn't really stepping up to the plate because, in part, he's pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord and supporting the coal industry. It's like we're not even trying.
Oh, it's not even on the table that we're going to make big progress on this during the Trump administration, and it's utterly pathetic. But hey, congratulations to China.